Alright, how's it going, everybody? This is Ismortah, and for this stream, which is part 6 of Kingdom Death Monster, my campaign, I'm going to be doing the hunt phase for Lantern Year 2. And that's going to include figuring out the configuration of hunters going out, what they're going to take, and getting their stuff prepped, so you know. And it just could be the hunt phase. Looks like sounds good. So one thing you gotta see from last night is I just gotta clean up some of the stuff, and then I'll set up the hunt here on this board below here, and I'll move it up to display. All right. And I decided to do a white lion, even though I discovered the screaming antelope, only because I really want to go after white lion stuff first, so I'm more powerful to take on the antelope. Is the idea there? Good thing also by having this table and just dedicate to only KDM is I can leave stuff out. I don't have to keep setting up every time. I just shuffle some decks, and not much to it. Alright. So all that's archived. It's not stuff we're going to use. We're going to use the hunt board. Alright. So before we get any more into it, I want to show you what I've been planning right now as far as the next party going out, as well as the gear grids, which you've only got to look far away before. So I want to show that to you guys. All right, so here is the gear grids that I'm currently thinking about using. This is all the gear that I've gotten in the last stream or had. I just reconfigured what I think I want to do for the time being. I'll talk more about strategy when I put the phone back on the tripod. So for this one, and I won't focus on the character sheets, because they all just have a little bit different stats. It's really the gear grid. So what I'm thinking about is having it so everyone can do something at far and close range. In a perfect world, I want to have it so everyone, I can do everything that it's required. Like, I could stop someone at far, I could stop someone in close, I could pierce, I could smash, I can heal, I can tank. Those are all things I want it so that if any of those things come up, I can deal with that problem. One of the things I want to do is, as you know, is give everyone headgear, because that's the easiest way to die. So I gave 3 of 4 people headgear, and then the 4th person has bandages to at least be able to heal bleeds. Anyone that was kind of deficient in survival or close to 3 insanity, I gave stone noses to bump up those stats. I finally got this lucky charm to activate since I got 2 blue squares, which is awesome, so that'll be another +1 luck. And weapon-wise, I have 2 guitars on people, and then 1 with the Twilight Sword, and then 1 with a bow with also a special arrow that can shoot. Now, the idea is later on is to have it so the person gathering the cat gear has both guitars in order to rock this, to make it as most effective as possible. And of course, you know, Kalingith, I want to eventually rock using a club, and Dusa, I want to be proficient in the bow. That way I have someone who can smash stuff, someone who can pierce, and then also Citroni is someone that I want to be able to rock a spear. So that way I have someone who can gore, and someone who can get in close and stabby. But for the time being, since I ran out of resources, even though I bought and made a lot of shit, split the guitars. But eventually I want the same person to have both guitars, and eventually to also have the white line gear to rock this. I gave anyone with a skull helm the acanthus just so in case I can attempt to save the skull helm, so I don't take a severe injury to the head, as well as the purse as well. But the most important thing would be to save that skull for sure. And just thematically, I gave the person that has the headdress the white lion helm because you got extra fur, and it makes it 3 defense. This I can use to make it so it's harder to hit, but I know it's not substantial. But when you stack a whole bunch of different evasion stuff, then it becomes substantial. So that's why it's a good investment, even though it may seem arbitrary right now, because if I do this and then start getting rawhide gear and other bonuses, people with evasion, like Isma, who has +1 evasion, it'll start stacking so that person can tank. And then with the rawhide armor, you can actually, every time you use survival, have a chance to get it back, which is cool. Which means you can use it as a resource then. So that if someone can keep getting aggro and have stuff on that person to draw aggro, they can keep surviving all of the shots while everyone else can dig in and attack. The other thing I noticed, and I started talking strategy, but this makes sense now to talk about it now with the stuff, is whenever you get knocked back in a straight line. So if someone else in your party can just pick you up, you can then attack in that straight line. The reason why I say that is anyone that does a charge, like the ability to pounce, which I saw in some of this gear, that's a straight line move. Or the arrow, if this person gets knocked down, if someone just using courage to pick them up, you then have a straight shot right at the cat at range. That's one reason I was almost thinking that maybe the person with the bow should be the tank. That way, whenever they're knocked down or back, they could shoot at far and hit their target. Whereas everyone else can just dash in and wail. But that's one of the cool things also about the fact that I have dash, is the fact that now I could do a cumbersome move and be in range. And I could spend survival to do it. So if someone has survival that regenerates, they keep doing cumbersome stuff over and over again, which makes more sense to do it with the bow because it's cumbersome. You know what I mean? So it's just an interesting idea. Let's think about doing. Cat gear, this, rawhide gear, the bow, and then have someone else rocking a spear and a club is what I was thinking. The Twilight Sword person's interesting, but she's also a liability if she dies, because I had a penalty that you give a large number of people to sustain her life force. But I'm thinking about just using her to keep maxing out courage and understanding to trigger stuff is what I was thinking about doing. So that's why I want her to be more of a do anything that can raise these stats on her, whereas everyone else focus on particular playstyles. Is the idea. Alright, I just want to give you a closer look at some of this gear. Alright. Cool. What I'm thinking of, anyway. Assuming people live, of course. There's a chance of, obviously, death in this game. Alright, so now I'm going to, next up, just record the current configuration of gear on my settlement sheet in case this gets knocked around. And then I'm going to depart and mark anyone that has anything that they gain from departing. And then I'll set up the hunt board. And then we'll do the hunt. So it'll be a little bit of setup during this. Okay. First off, I just want to record the new configuration of all these people currently. Which, you know what, I may not even have to do right now. Just because I have the actual pieces out. It's not like I'm putting up or having it archived that I pretend I have it. So I think for the sake of brevity, I'll just erase it on everybody. And I can just set that into stream or off stream, because that's not very interesting and kind of not unnecessary right now. Because what I'm saying here, just what are the gear that people have? Well, I mean, I physically have it on the people, so that kind of doesn't matter. So I'll skip that for now. But what I need to do next is, I'm saying these 4 departing. Citronia's going to stay back, and then of course I have the 2 children, so he's going to watch the kids. But the leader's going to come out to fill a void for a time being. This is because I want to have more power. Now I'm going to be fighting the same lion I fought last time, so it's not like there should be a problem, but at least this time now I won't have to do founding stones. And I kind of got lucky that I wasn't wailed on also. So, but there's a possibility that whenever I do monsters that can do higher levels, it just the next higher level is really powerful. And I don't think it's worth the risk right now. That's because, not because I don't have the weapons necessarily, but because I don't have the armor to take the hits. But it is true, I could go after the antelope with this gear now. I just want to collect the white line stuff as soon as possible. But you could also argue I could do a level 1 antelope, and then later do a level 2 lion with better gear. But I'll do level 1 lion. Like I said, I think I got lucky that I didn't get that many hits on me. They were devastating. And like I said, I have the weapons and not the armor right now. So that's kind of chancing it. Especially the chest armor. Okay, so does anyone have anything that happens when you depart? The noses trigger, stone noses trigger when you arrive. So that's not a factor. Arrive at the showdown. The other thing that gave everyone stuff was the harp, and again, that's also on arrival. So I don't have anything that happens when I depart, I don't think. I'm just going to check. Doesn't look like it. Oh, I do have some fighting arts, though. Don't forget about that. I have Crazed, that if I get perfect hit, I get +1 insanity. Here I have Order of Death. That's an action. Everyone gets +2 insanity. So I have 2 different people that can give insanity, which is interesting. If I need it. Okay, so I have nothing that happens when I depart. I'm just going to keep the gear for the time being since it's out. So now I'm going to set up the hunt. So I have to go to the showdown for the white lion, which explains how to do the hunt and the showdown. All right. Okay, so I need to shuffle. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the hunt and the resources in case stuff happens. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these ones. Because I might get resources on the way, and then the hunt track. As well as Gelta miniatures. Alright, and I have to move this so you can see it too. Just move this up to here. Okay, everybody see that? Yep. Okay. All right. Anything I do in this game, though, I'm always pro resources because you need resources to do stuff, especially rare stuff. That's why even though you said, oh, maybe I could have hoarded some of my things to get like the club instantly or something with 3 bone. That's true, but the like for example the headdress was hard to get. The materials for the whisker was hard to get. The materials for the White Lion helm was hard to get. And since completing the set for the White Lion is more important than just having that spear, when maybe later on it can make something equivalent, that's why I was like, yeah. Yeah. Because there's no guarantee you'll find the item you're looking for. Boop. I just dropped a resource. Alright, so I shuffle that, now I'm going to shuffle the resources, then the hunt cards, and then we are good to go. The hunt is honestly the shortest part of the entire thing, even though it could go long if doing a lot of pursuing and doing a lot of event cards. But I just wanted to have it be its own stream if possible for that reason. So I think what I'm going to do to help, like I said, to help shorten and have all these streams equally sized is now on when I do the settlement phase. I think I might start having when I purchase gear be part of the hunt phase. Just that way, because you're gearing up for the hunt, whereas the settlement phase is just saying what's happening with civilization. I don't know. I'm just thinking ways just to make them equally digestible, I should say. I don't know. I think I'll have equipping be part of the hunt, but buying gear keep it part of the settlement phase. Even though you send people out to part of the settlement phase, it's just, you know, it's like you're prepping and then hunting, as opposed to doing combat or interacting with civilization. So. Alright, so now I'm just going to shuffle the hunts for the lion, since that's who we're going to hunt. And then we'll do it. Okay. So I put one here, one here, one here, one here, and one here. Okay. Now get out. So what people am I getting out? The fact that I'm bringing Isma, I'll bring her out with her sword. So I'll do that. I really don't have miniatures matching these people yet. So I think I'll bring out the sword, 2 people with shards, and then I do have a bow person, so maybe we'll do that. Oh, and what are the sexes of these two? We have female and male. Okay. That's right, or at least very close to what I'm looking for. Alright. So we are hunting a lion who is here. And the last hunt, I didn't even move to lion. I just angered lion because I was messing with the cub. So these miniatures I'm currently using this time around. We have Dusa, who has the bow. Then we have Snahavium with a guitar, Klingeth with a guitar, and Isma with the Twilight Sword. That's what we're going to do. And it kind of sort of matches because this shows the harp, too. You can see it. Yeah. All right. Have Isma be the leader this time around, and then I'll just go. I guess I'm going in order I want since I have the miniatures, but it'd be easier if I just followed an order. Maybe I'll have Klingeth go next. Have Bo go last, so do something like this. That'll be the order. And then we have Lion. Let's see, anything else? Doom, 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 doom. All right. And let me record that we're fighting a level. We're gonna hunt a level 1 lion, which is on here. Great. Cool. Alrighty. I think that's everything. Yeah. Cool. Alright, so we start. What happens is you resolve whatever is in the space in front, and then you can move into it. That's how it works. So let's see the first one. Lion in heat. Uh-oh, we gotta roll sexual lion. See if I can get that to come out. Huh. Anyway, I'll read it to you. The darkness is filled with unearthly screeching and yowling. Huddled together, the survivors close their eyes, but cannot sleep. All survivors suffer 1 brain event damage. You ready? So everyone takes 1 brain damage. No, I covered up my gear grid thing. No, let me get the paper out. Okay. Alright, so that means Isma goes down to 3 insanity, which is bad, because that means now she can't use her sword. So she needs insanity to use her sword. But she'll get some from, she just can't take any more insanity damage. Snahavium goes from 4 to 3. You have to be 3 plus to be insane. Klingeth goes from 7 to 6. And Dusa goes from 3 to 2. So now she also is not insane currently. Alright. But I have ways to make people insane also, not only from the stone nose and the harp, but also the white lion can give people insanity. Well, it's only if they're deaf, so I thought there was another way. Oh no, anyone with a Acanthus gets +2 insanity when they depart. I mean, +2 survival when they depart. So if anyone wasn't at 2, should be at 2. So Isma should be at 2 survival. Anyone with that can't. Okay. Cool. Alright, so that's that one. So now everybody moves ahead. And she was the trigger for it. Now next to line is going to be Klingeth, who's going to trigger. Alright, this one we have Scratching Grounds. There we go. Focus that time. Claw marks scar the ground. The survivors may choose to investigate. Each survivor that investigates gains +1 courage and rolls on the table. And then if nobody investigates, a random hunt event happens. Alright, so I'm going to try investigating with everybody. Just for shits. So I'll start with Klingeth. Klingeth is going to investigate. Each survivor that investigates gets +1 courage and then rolls. So everyone could get more courage by doing this. So Klingeth goes to courage 1. And then we roll. And I'll push them even farther just so I know that I've used it. Where are my dice? All right. So I rolled a 3. Sifting through the rubble, a shifting stone crushes the survivor's hands. The survivor suffers 1 event damage to the arm's location. So Klingeth takes 1 damage to the arm. Okay. Next, I'll go ahead and do Isma, and I'll raise it because when she gets 3 courage, an event triggers, so that could be interesting. So Isma goes to 3 courage, and then that triggers. Well, I'll go ahead and finish this, and then I'll do it. So now we roll D10. Wow, got a lantern. Man, she knows her shit. 10. A prize in the rubble underfoot. Gain 1 lion claw white lion resource. But I think it's weird that in... Wait, am I doing this wrong? It investigates, though, is in bold. Can I only investigate if I have the ability to investigate, or is that just... Let me look that up right quick to make sure that I'm not, like, banned from doing that. As in, like, if I needed, like, a innovation to do it or something. Doesn't look like it. It must just be a keyword that someone can't do it if they say you can't investigate because, like, you can't see or something. I don't see it on her. Alright, I will continue. Cool, so I get a white lion resource, which is awesome because I'm all about the resources. All about it. I'm going to have to shuffle this again, but we got a white lion. So she got it. So I'll put that on hers. All right. And then we trigger the story event. Courage, bold. So let me go to the bold story. 115. Wait, no. 113. Okay, I got bold. I'll show you the pick and then I'll read it to you. Different stuff depending on what is going on. All right, so select the triumph corresponding to the current game phase. So I got the 3rd courage during the hunt phase. So hunt phase triumph, the middle one. Expect the unexpected. You are prepared to face any mind-bending trials at a moment's notice. While others may falter, you forge ahead, meeting the journey head-on. Gain the following ability and roll on the table below. Prepared. When rolling to determine a straggler, add your hunt experience to your roll result. So if this person's leading the party, helps motivate. All right, so I believe there's a section I fill in for prepared. All righty. Isma is prepared. Has that ability. I can add a hunt experience to the roll when determining a straggler. Okay, and then I roll another d10. Got a 5. Gain +1 understanding. So she gets +1 understanding, and then that triggers another event. I mean, she is like the leader, man. She knows how to get shit done. She knows something about this light, this relationship between light and darkness. Herself, like I said, emitting this shadowy mist. But she's at 3 understanding, so now that triggers the insight event, which I'll show to you. Insights. She's like, And again, choices depending on when it happens. It's probably going to be the middle one. Select the epiphany corresponding to the current game phase. A survivor will only gain these benefits once a lifetime. So we're doing the hunt phase epiphany. That's when it happened. You dream before you, toiling silently. A strange creature with the imprint of a human face sculpts stone faces into the ground. You meet its concave gaze and wake. Gain the following ability and roll on the table below. Explore. When you roll on an investigate table, add +2 to your roll result. So like this one I'm doing is investigate. So in the future, whenever I do investigates with her, she gets +2. So now she's actually more effective in any hunt. The fact that she can help save stragglers and help investigate. So if something's dangerous, I could just have her do it or have her save the party. Very interesting. Okay, so she gets explore. Okay. And then I roll to get another stat that she gets. Wow, she rolled another 10. Lantern. Gain +1 permanent evasion. And she already has 1 evasion. So I could be looking at the tank for the party. Even though I don't want her to die, she could be the evasion tank. So she gets another +1 to evasion. Oh, that's one of the things I didn't do, and I'll do before we do the showdown, is I need to update everyone's stats for the current gear that they're using. So I definitely need to do that. So her evasion's +2. I'll do that, before the showdown. At the tail end of this. Cool. So I want to keep pressing to get more resources, so I'm going to have everybody do it. So next up is going to be Snahavium. Let me go back to that page. So +1 to courage. And everyone started at 0 courage. It was Isma that had some higher stats because her doing all this leadership shit. And that's the Havium rolls. It's a 3, so she takes 1 damage to the arm. Which is sort of dangerous because people don't have, I don't have full body armor on people, so it's a little dangerous. And then I'll do the last person. Dusa. +1 courage. Try again for that resource. An 8. Just short. A 4 to 8, nothing happens. but got a courage, for trying. All right. So now this goes away. Everybody moves up. The next one to try to see what's there, I'll have be her. So I already did these two. Who's that? Snahavium. Okay. I feel like I lost a card. Did I put that card back? Maybe. Alright, so since this is a space with no card, I do a random event on the table, which means I roll 2 of these. And this is the 10s, and this is the 1s. And whatever number it comes out to is what I look up on the table. So it's 80, and that's a 10, so it's a 0. So I'm looking for number 80. I think the table's at the very front of all of this story stuff. Okay, so I'm looking for 80. Lovelorn Rock. The survivors pass a ring of stones with an unassuming boulder at the center. Each survivor rolls 1d10. The lowest scoring survivor becomes a straggler. But remember, Isma can help stragglers. She can add hunt experience to the roll when determining a straggler. I'm sorry, let me look at that again. Add hunt experience to the roll when determining a straggler. So she can add her hunt experience, if I'm reading this correctly, to her roll. And her hunt experience is a 1. All right. So I'll do everybody in order. So I'll start with, actually I have 4 dice, so I can save it for each buddy. So first I'll do Snahavium, which is a 9. Dusa, which is also a 9. Isma, +1, is 5 + 1 is a 6. And then Snahavium is a 7. So ironically, even though she's the most courageous and bold, the fact she spent all this time reflecting on shit, she's straggling behind. So it sort of makes sense story-wise. The straggler hefts the boulder. It's heavy. And promises to carry it everywhere, forever in love. Man, she's in love with this boulder. They must always leave one space in their gear grid empty, as it contains their beloved rock. Record this on the survivor sheet. The rock can be lost or archived like other gear. If it is lost, the survivor mourns their beloved and reclaims the space in their gear grid. So she has a permanent space that she can't use in her gear grid unless somehow I get rid of the rock, if I'm reading this correctly. Because she's in love with it, so she never wants to get rid of it unless she has to. It says you can archive it like other gear. Well, I mean, if you archive gear, that means you can take it out of your gear grid. So I think she's in love with it, and I might be able to take it out. I don't know. But for the time being, I'll record it. So Isma Hobby Impairment. Also, she has a, what's it called? Beloved Rock. Beloved Rock. Consumes 1 gear space. Alright. She's brave. Has understanding. She's courageous, but she's a little crazy, looks like. Alright, so she loving over this rock. So one of these gear spaces, wherever it is, always has to be free on her. Which I can solve by not taking her out, but since I don't have max gear right now, it's not a problem. Okay. And I'll remember this is number 80, just in case I want to reference the other effects in the future. So I'll say table 80, just so I remember. Okay, cool. So that was fighting for this space. So now everyone can move into that space. And then the next one that's going to be advancing is going to be Dusa. So what I gotta look up right now is to see, do I flip a card for this space and then they move in and then encounter, or like the order events? Like what I'm gonna find is like, does triggering this, if the line's there, trigger the showdown, or do I have to move into it? So that's what I'm gonna check right quick. Hunt. Oh, you read the top card in the current space. So this whole party is going to move into this space, and then you start the showdown because the line's there. Okay, so that's it. So unfortunately, we're starting the showdown with taking a little bit of damage already, but we have a lot better weapons, and we actually have a lot of survival. So the other thing I'll do right now is I'll go ahead and record what everybody starts with stat-wise. That way, for the showdown, all I'm doing is where we're going to place. Okay? So I got a resource. Let's go ahead and hang on to that. I'll actually put it here so I see all gained resources. What I'll do. Like I did last time. Okay, so the harp, on arrival, all survivors gain +1 survival, with their max being 2. And then anyone with a stone nose also gets 1 insanity and 1 survival. I think that's it. Okay, so if I'm going around the horn, Isma will get 2 survival, 1 insanity. Survival's already at 2, so it gets 1 insanity. So now is insane, being at 3. Awesome. Snahavium gets 1 insanity, already at 2 survival. I'm sorry, she does not get 1 insanity because she doesn't have a stone nose. Oh no, I erased her number and I forgot what her insanity was. Shit. Fuck. I forgot. I just erased and wrote a 1, but it's +1. I'm gonna have to watch the stream to see what this number should have been. Fuck. No. I forgot what her insanity was. I believe I added 1 and she was going to be insane. So I want to say it was 2. Shit, man, I totally forgot. I'm gonna have to check that after the stream. Christ. Alright, this person has stone nose. Survival goes to 2, insanity goes to 7. Shit. just see if I can't figure out what that was. And then this person has a nose. So insanity goes to 3. I saw the number 1 written here, so maybe it was just a 1. Or maybe it was at 0. I don't know. I gotta check that. I don't know. So Snahavium's the only one I don't remember. Cool. So everyone has their starting stats. And I'll determine the starting position when we do the actual showdown. Cool. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We got 1 resource out of it so far, and we're not in a terrible position. So, we just gotta survive. Take down this lion. Cool. Thanks for watching. The next stream is going to be the showdown of the white lion. Just the showdown. Just the battle with it. So tune in then to see the action. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.